What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. Hey guys, look, it's Wednesday. It's supposed to be stand day, but like I told y'all before, we're gonna start injecting some stuff as it comes along after conversations that I see pop up on the internet that guys are having about equipment, right? So just the other day, one of the things I seen guys talking about or actually got involved in a conversation about was boots. And the preference of boots, why you wear these boots, are they comfortable, are they not comfortable, are they warm, do they make your feet sweat, do they come apart at the seams, so on and so forth. So I guarantee you, I walk a lot. Whenever I say a lot, I wear these same boots turkey hunting, I wear them shed hunting at the end of the year, and I promise you, whenever I'm shed hunting, it's at least 10 miles a day, 30 days out of the year. You can do the math. For example, these boots, while I was in Missouri on Fort Leonard Wood year before last, I know for a fact I put almost 200 miles on these boots in about a month and a half time frame. I was walking anywhere from 10 to 15 miles a day, and then on the weekends I was getting that 20-25, shed hunting. So anyways, and that's the same boot that you see right now. It's actually still the boot that I'm wearing now. They're 3 years old. I have to end up getting a set about every 3 years. So I want to talk about importance of what I think you need to be looking for in a boot. So number one, the most important thing in my personal opinion is rubber. Get all rubber. The scent's not there, it's going to help hold that scent in. Number two, if you look on the side of these boots here, they have the pull tab, right? The reason that I think those are important is obviously, we're guys, we do a lot of walking, whatever, feet get to smelling. You could throw some camo dust inside of it. It's going to take that smell out, but say that you don't have none or whatever. And even if you do, something that I like to do is I will leave these loose like this as I'm walking to my stand. And then once I get in the stand, I'll take and cinch them down, and it just traps all that, any of those smells or whatever that's coming off your feet actually inside of the boot there. So it's just one less thing you have to worry about. The next thing that you need to be looking for is something that doesn't have a bunch of connection points. So not talking bad about any boots or whatever. The reason that I go all rubber is for scent control. There is no other reason other than scent control, and then the fact of not getting tore up in briars. So if you look at these, I don't know how well you can tell, they are scarred up, and that's from briars in early season. I love these boots. They are tough boot. Whenever the muck boots first came out, I actually started wearing mucks for a little while. I used to wear the big Lacrosse boot, the big, heavy, thick one. I'll look up and see if I can find the name of it. I'll drop it on here. I actually stopped wearing them because of the separation. So where the shoe part of it would come up here, the first pair that I had, they separated here. The next pair that I had, the soles separated, and both of those was in about a year. Now, I will say that, I do a lot more walking than most guys, so those other brands, Lacrosse, the redheads, maybe you can get 2 or 3 years out of them, and if you can, by all means, get after it. But this boot here, I don't know if you can see the bottom, there's not much tread left on this guy. So the big deal about this boot is it doesn't have any separation points. So if you want to look down the side of it, there's no separation points, so you don't have that, when you're walking and they're bending, you can see there's not any creases anywhere. The stuff that is here, it's double layered. So I've never had one bust. This is like the 4th pair that I've owned. So when you're looking for a boot, look for something that's comfortable, look for something that's all rubber, look for something that's got that pull tab. I push these Lacrosse boots. So there's 2 different versions of these if you go out to buy them. If you stick your hand inside of them, you can feel just a little bit, it almost feels like cushion on the side. And that's their insulated version. They're $89 at Academy Sports. They're $99 at Bass Pro Shop. There's the actual, which model or brand they are. Yeah, man, it's an awesome boot. I promise you, it is going to be the best boot you've ever had. So I'm going to show you the difference in between this one with the bottom and the brand new ones. So, and then I'm going to tell you how to prepare this boot, because that's extremely important. Trust me, if you go buy some, you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about right after we go through this. So right in right. One thing you'll notice is this isn't just extremely clean. It's not because I'm wore them. I have not. I leave them outside, and we'll get to that here in just a second. So this boot is the one that I've had, for the last couple of years. I don't know if you can tell from that side to that side on the grooves down there at the sole by how much I've wore these things, but I have just almost wore a hole in the bottom. Like I said, these boots probably literally have 500 plus miles on them. I've seen guys talk about dry rotting and that kind of stuff on them. I've never had any of those issues. If you look there, like I said, they're 3 years old. I'm bad with a pair of boots, leaving them back in the truck, leave them outside. I've never had any split or rip or any of that on me. So the only negative I can ever say about one of these boots is the grips. So one thing that they don't have is some big gnarly grips on the bottom. If you can see here, that's 500 miles later. That is a lot of wear and tear, and they held up. They always hold up. That's the reason I keep going back to them, and they're super cheap. So, and again, you can see how beat up that one is, and they're tired. But this is the funny thing. So I bought these, right, about 3 months ago because season was getting ready to come in, and these are the ones I'm still wearing. Not because I won't go to these, but there's a method to the madness. So if you go out and you buy a pair of these boots, the first thing that I will do, so that, you know, it's getting close to actual time where I'm going to start getting serious about hunting. When you get some of these, the very first thing you need to do is take them out of the package, go out in the yard, go down to the deer lease, find you a mud hole, get some of that nasty clay mud, and just rub all over them. What the hell is that? Sticker. Rub it all over them and leave them sitting outside. You can see how shiny the boot is. It's because of the oils they put on it to keep them from cracking, I'm sure. But that stuff smells. Like, it smells like a brand new tire. I don't like that smell. I prefer not to have any smell at all. And so, yeah, what I do is I take a whole bunch of mud, I'll put all over them, I'll set them off to the side, leave them for a week, go outside, wash them off, give them the sniff test, do it again. So, you know, it's a couple week process, there's no doubt, to get the smell completely off of them. And then, you know, these boots, they're rubber. So, you know, these boots again are 3 or 4 years old, and on a hot day while you're sitting in the woods and the sun's beating right beside them, you can still kind of smell that rubber. I haven't had an issue with that, you know, affecting the deer or whatever, but I mean, I guess you could. So just make sure that you're doing the proper care of them before you take them out and use them. Get you some mud, rub all over them, and leave them sit. So the other big deal about this boot is you can see that it's double thick here. Not knocking on the other boots. When it comes to rubber boots, like the other versions of the Lacrosse, the redheads, the muck boots, all of those, they've got the camouflage, you know, I don't know, material up here on the top. If any of y'all hunt like I do, you walk through the woods, you go through the briars, it tears that stuff up, they start leaking, it starts breaking down. You don't get that with this boot. The other thing that I do really like about it too, I'll do it with this one, is whenever it's hot outside, you know, they work like your old hip boots, if you ever had any of those. So you can take this, and it's obviously a lot easier if you're wearing them. But you can take these and roll them down so they're not up there flapping around and whatever. And then they kind of look like this, which just is more comfortable. That's all there is. That's really the only thing about it. Yeah, man, they're an awesome boot. They don't tear up easy. They work really well. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is guys that get cold feet. It's been posted all over some pages. I picked this up off of a dude named Richard. So one negative about this boot is it does not have a lot of insulation, right? There's no way around it. It does not. I like it. I prefer it, and the reason being is, like, I'm cheap, so whatever boot I buy, I'm probably going to wear all year long, and I prefer, you know, not to ruin them with foot sweat during the summer. So this boot, I don't do that with. But what can you do to keep your feet warm whenever you're in the deer stand and it's cold outside? So what I did is I took an old pair of wool socks. You can go buy some of the redheads out of the sales barn at Bass Pro Shop for like $10, right, out of the little sales rack thing. And what you can do with that is, whenever I was talking about this pull strap that's on the side, what does this do? It helps hold heat, right? So whenever you're walking in, one of the reasons that guys' feet get so cold, any of your dudes in the military, you already got it, right? Your feet are sweating. So whenever you go into the woods, whether it's your boots or your clothes, wear minimum amounts so you're not sweating, because a lot of times you get up there and you get cold, you're not actually getting cold because it's cold outside, you're getting cold because of the moisture that's on your skin, i.e. your socks from your feet sweating inside of your boots. So not having a whole bunch of insulation inside of this boot really helps with that. Your feet aren't gonna get that sweating. I literally, whenever I wear mine, you know, if it's 20 degrees or 30 degrees outside, 110%, I won't put anything on, just a normal pair of Dickies work socks. I wear those, and once I get to the stand, what I end up doing is when my feet start getting cold, you don't want to do it before your feet start getting cold, but when my feet start getting cold, I will take that wool sock and I will put it over from here forward on this boot, because your heel don't get cold, it's your toes, right? So you put that wool sock over the top of your boot. Sit there a little while, feet still cold, take you a hot hand, break it open, and put it in between that wool sock and that rubber. I promise you, your feet are gonna be nice and toasty. You're not gonna have any issues. The only way that that's gonna affect somebody is if you're doing like a run and a gun, spot and stalk kind of thing. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that, but if you're gonna be spotting and stalking, your feet probably aren't cold anyways. So yeah, when it comes to this boot or any of your other boots, get you a wool sock, get you a set of wool socks, carry them in your pack, and a couple of hot hands, and you'll see the difference that it makes. It's tremendous. It'll keep you in that stand a couple hours longer whenever it's cold and you're ready to get down, because your feet are getting cold, starting to hurt, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, guys, when it comes to boot, this is the boot that I wear. It's the boot that I have wore for years and years and years. It's the boot that I started wearing whenever I was in high school working on a farm. They were great then. I didn't wear them from hunting because they weren't camouflaged, and I had to be all camouflaged up. And then I finally got smart and went back to them. They're super cheap. Like I said, $99. The most expensive I've seen them is $99. I said Academy Sports has got them from $89. That's where I just picked that new pair up at. But they're super cheap. They're super durable. You cannot beat this boot whenever it comes to whitetail hunting or trapping or riding four-wheelers or whatever else you want to do. It's an awesome boot. Go check them out. The Lacrosse, yeah, the one and only. So that's what it says on the tag, and I believe it. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. I appreciate you stopping by and watch. I hope this helps somebody out. I'm telling you, do not go spend $400 or $300 on a pair of boots. Go get you these. They're going to be better than the competitors anyways. The only thing, the last thing I'm going to say, I should have injected this in there earlier. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the lace-up boots. All right, so I'm not hating on a lace-up boot. I like a lace-up boot myself. Out west, that's what those guys wear a lot. Well, they're hiking all the time, so kind of understand it. But understand, like, if you're wearing lace-up boots, like, those things are going to get smelly. Just is what it is. So go check out these Lacrosse. Go to Academy, go to Bass Pro Shop. Hell, I think I've seen them at all kinds of stores, but you won't be disappointed, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Get down in the comments below. If you'd like to see something reviewed, drop a comment. Let us know what it is. We'll see if we can get our hands on it. And lastly, but not least, hit that little bell up there at the top. You never know when we're going to drop a review over something that you didn't even know that you needed. Good hunting, guys. We'll catch y'all next week.